Come on.
I'm looking for these chunky color pencils, but I think I'm gonna have to get them online. Did you buy stuff already? Ooh, look at this paper. $2.20. That's not bad.
That's right.
Okay, so I'll get the smaller of this.
Yeah, sure. Le pen.
No.
You have these Stabilio.
Do they have Durant? The Durant song?
I don't know what that is. What's that?
Something I never heard.
Charcoal?
Create a color. That's what is. That's the brand that I'm looking for. The Create a Color pencils. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you saw in the previous video, I was on the hunt for these Create a Colors. I really wanted to test them out. I saw that Sandy Hester was working with these. She primarily uses the ultramarine blue, but I'm the type of girl that really loves to have a collection of things, just so that I can have options. So I purchased these on Amazon, and the link is below. And most of this content was created months ago. I'm really behind on editing and filming content. So you may see that I have a hood on, sweater. It was really cold this day, and I wanted to try different art materials and art supplies. So I, at this point, have been working with these for a couple months now, and I absolutely love them. Definitely recommend them. They make you feel like a big kid again. I really enjoy how thick the pencil is, and you can really get into the paper with these. I recommend using multimedia with them also, so that you can figure out the way you like to use these, but definitely recommend them. So as soon as I opened them, I started swatching, and the book that I am using is a multimedia paper, and it definitely calls for a thicker style of paper. However, you can test it out on whatever works for you. This is what I had available at the moment. So I made it through the color swatching, and I wanted to label them. There were certain colors that I really loved more than others. That last sort of cool gray on the color chart was probably my favorite. So just some random thoughts that I have about mixed media. So when painting and working with mixed media, I definitely enjoy selecting my mediums first, making sure that they layer properly, and they work well with the paper. That can make a world of a difference. If you have different mediums that don't work well together, it can make your experience challenging. If you have paper that doesn't work well with the medium, it can also make things challenging. So the trick to working with multiple mediums is understanding the science behind certain things. So, for example, I mean, it's not too technical. So, for example, making sure you have all your water-based mediums down first and then going over things with oils. You never want to do oil first because oil and water doesn't mix too well. So thinking about those sort of sciencey things, and I say that in air quotes because you don't have to think too hard. It's pretty preliminary science skills when it comes to mixed media art. So I grabbed some inspiration from one of my favorite magazines, Plein Air magazine, and I was really drawn to this image of a little house by the lake. The bridge was really interesting, and the way they cast shadows, they did it so well. And I wanted to also test out some of my acrylic gouache. I'm still practicing with different gouache techniques. In particular, acrylic gouache. It's a little bit more challenging and more or less forgiving, I should say, when it comes to working and mixing and doing different things because it dries so fast. I do, however, enjoy the transparency that it offers. I could, however, get the same technique with regular acrylics. I can add a medium to the regular acrylics. Even though it's not intended for that, I have tried this technique before, but I definitely do understand that the gouache acrylics are meant for this. So, using the tools as they're intended, you're gonna get the best results. So I wanted to, work things out and use things as they're meant to be. So after layering a couple layers, I started to get the undertone of the image, again using the same sketchbook that I used for the swatching of the Acrylic color pencils, and getting the undertone, or even just toning your paper or canvas or whatever, helps so much with avoiding seeing a lot of the white tones. And it just brings more interest into your painting. It allows the colors to sort of layer and form to each other. So I really enjoyed this preliminary priming of the quote-unquote canvas, or in this case sketchbook. And I didn't use a pencil to sketch my initial sketch. When I first started off as a painter, I only used acrylics. Well, actually, when I first started, my first medium was oil. And let me pause here because this is very funny. I used my dog's ear to fan my painting, and he was not even flinching. He did not flinch at all. So anyways, jumping back into my story. When I first started off as a painter, I used oil painting as a medium, a primary source, mainly because that's what I learned in school. And as I gradually grew to acrylics, because surprisingly enough, oils are more forgiving than acrylics. My professor also mentioned that once you've mastered oils, being able to move on to acrylics helps you to become more of an intermediate sort of artist. And I wanted to prepare myself. And I also had less access to safety measures when it comes to oils. So moving into acrylics only made sense. So I was able to ventilate my space better, and not dealing with all the chemical removal and things like that. With acrylics, I learned new techniques. I also realized that I really enjoy working fast, whereas with oils, you are forced to slow down because you will muddy up your picture or your painting if you do not allow for certain layers to dry. So acrylics gave me the freedom to move faster. So I did acrylics for, I'm gonna say 5 to 6 years before I revisited the mixed media. I previously did mixed media for just one segment of my life. I'm gonna say maybe 2010, when I had a class in undergrad regarding mixed media, and I loved it. I just loved so many things that we did in that class. they need to be toned down because of the way I intended this painting to be. But it does help when you're, combining different things together and layering with a flat medium that doesn't have too much texture to it or too much gradation to it tends to help with visual interest when it comes to mixed media. So you see that I have the acrylic gouache as the underpainting, and then I layer on top with some of the Poscas, which are very flat in tone, and then I use the Cretacolor pencils to add some dimension, and it does create a visual interest to the painting. So as I start to wrap things up with this painting, I hope you enjoyed the little conversations that I had while the painting was going on in the background. If you like these type of videos, of course, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you're interested in mixed media and if you would try the techniques that I've recommended in this video. I would love to hear what you are all interested in. Do you prefer a reference photo, or do you prefer to do things from memory? So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you next week.